Hey, how's it going, guys? Today we're going to be making some steak tips. I'm going to show you a quick way on how to make steak tips. If it's super cold or you just don't feel like grilling, and it's a good way that I like to make my steaks. So here we go. Alright, so I pretty much take my steak. I've already kind of cut them up. These are big New Yorks or whatnot. I love New York, and so does my woman, so always got to have that. So with something like this, it's got just like a little bit of fat. That's fine. I just try to cut it in like little tips. So I cut that all out. Okay. These look like perfect sized tips. This one I could probably cut a little bit smaller even. And then I just kind of cut it. So it's like a little tip. And then when you cut that tip, and you can cut this tip. And like a little bit of this fat right here. Try to slice that off. Won't want that. And this fat right here, I do the same thing. Because you know, when you're grilling and stuff, it's nice to have the fat because it, you know, gives a little bit more flavor and keeps it a little bit more moist. Hear my kids going crazy in the background. Okay, here. Try to take off as little meat as possible. That's the thinnest layer of meat on there. So, and if you have dogs and stuff, I mean, you could cook this up in a separate pan and give it to your dogs, your animals, whatever, and they would love you forever for that. So I'm gonna take it in, I'm just gonna start cutting tips. Just like that. So I got this pile of tips right here. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with all these real quick, and then I'll be right back at with you when I chop up the mushrooms. Okay, so now I got all the fat off of it. Now I'm just going to cut up the tips real quick. We'll stack that over there. And we'll just do that real quick here, like. So yeah, I hope you guys like this video. Trying to come out with more content. And if you guys have any suggestions, please let me know in the comments. Oh, that's a good one. And then after this, this is how I make my steak tips. So I cut up all the meat, then I cut up my mushrooms, then I take a little bit of A1 and the chopped mushrooms and put it all in a pan, and then I pretty much just cook it down. I'll show you guys that here shortly, but it's pretty easy, and I don't have like exact measurements or anything. Oh, that one came out a little thin. But I try to cut like, so you have a point. So you cut that point and then you have 2 points, and then it's kind of what I try to do anyways. So this, since I cut that, I'm just gonna cut that in half. So I'm going to take this point, cut it, then I have this point, and cut it. Then when I cut that point, then I have this point. And then you start the whole series over again. And you have that point. You have this point. And that's how I make my steak tips anyways. Sure, there's a lot of different ways to do it, but I do it this way, and we all like it a lot. So hopefully you get some useful ideas out of here of a quick, delicious meal. That was so big, cut it in half. These steaks are thick too, so it helps when you have a thicker steak. If you had a thinner steak, I'd be probably cutting them a little differently or something, but it's a pretty thick steak, so, you know, pretty thick old steak. That's why I like my steak though. I don't like thin steaks. I feel like you get less flavor, and yeah, I don't like them. Okay, now we're done with that. So I'll kind of spread that out here, and you see, and got some good tips here. It's gonna be great. And then, so I'll spread it out here. I got a little secret blend of spices here. I mean, you can really use any seasoning or whatnot, but this is what I use, and I just pretty much, and then mix it all up. All right. I actually throw this in the pan right away and let it sit there and kind of get all the seasoning real quick. I kind of line them up like that, and then just chop them up. Couple different ways you can chop them up. Woo. Throw that on. That one doesn't have a bottom, didn't have a bottom in it, so I'm gonna just trash that one. And some of these ends I don't like to keep. Sometimes I'll just do this, and then I'll go depending what mood I'm feeling in. Alright, so I'm almost done here with these mushrooms. Gonna start cooking the meat now, so go ahead and turn that on medium, and we'll just start searing the meat a little bit, and then we'll add the mushrooms and the sauce. I'll get back to you when I do that. So now we got the mushrooms in there, and we got the meat a little bit seared, and now we're gonna add the A1. I don't really measure it or anything. This is how I do it, is I literally start at one end, go back and forth and evenly disperse it over the top. And then if that's not enough, then I'll go and I'll add a little bit more until there's just the right amount. You don't want too much A1 sauce, because then it'll cook down and it just won't be right. There'll be too much sauce, and you want just the right amount of sauce where it just barely glazes all the meat. So now, from washing all these and the water that's all in the mushrooms, you can kind of see how it got kind of like watery or whatnot. Well, anyway, so pretty much you just sit there and you cook it down until it's back to the consistency of about A1, and it comes out perfectly. I literally just sit here and stir it. You can leave it, let it sit for a while, then stir it, but I like to stir it constantly. Bam! There you go.